So it happened. Bitcoin took a little bit of a dip. To be fair, I don't think the dip was as much as it was expected, which is why I think that we may still see another dip of the same magnitude at some point. So no financial advice, do your own research. The people who took a little bit of dry powder out to be able to buy back in are probably having a nice laugh at the moment, but maybe they're expecting it to go even a little bit lower, because if you look, Bitcoin only took something like a 10 to 11% dip, and people were predicting, up to 40%. So another 10% dip is still in the works. Who knows, right? Now, the dip itself was caused by a number of things cascaded together. We, of course, have the sell, the news, fears. So people who are expecting a Bitcoin to do a sell the news before the halving, trying to front run others. So as we're now within a week of the halving, we're going to see a lot of volatility and a lot of arms race when it comes to trying to sell before others, right? We had that. We had obviously the bad report from the Fed in America concerning their inflation report and the sort of change of attitude going forward. And whenever that happens, of course, Wall Street and financial institutional money behaves like they would in the traditional stock market, which would be to sell riskier assets. Unfortunately, first of all, we've got a lot of their money in crypto at the moment, and they also don't quite understand crypto. So they treat Bitcoin like a tech stock, which is considered to be risky and the first to go. So we had sales from those guys. We had Grayscale doing their normal sales. They didn't sell as much as they were doing last week or 2 weeks ago, but they did still sell, and it did have impact. And on top of that, we had whales doing what whales do when they see the massive longs and leverages in the system. They, including even, to an extent, the exchanges themselves, try to wreck the system, rinse and shake those people out because they can make a lot of money from liquidation. So a lot of those things put together, massive dip, dang, 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 dang. Some stop losses were basically probably triggered as well. Which then cascades all the way down, and then liquidations brings the wick all the way down. As you can see, the wick was consumed nearly immediately, not all the way back up. We're sort of like halfway between how far down it went and where it started. So we're sort of went down 10%, minus 10%. Now we're back to -5, something like that for Bitcoin. The altcoins took it a little bit worse. Actually, XRP did a lot better than I expected. XRP basically mirrored Bitcoin. Solana took a massive hit, going all the way down, almost -30% at its lowest point. Now it's back up to something like -12, -13, which is also a similar recovery to what happened with Bitcoin. Now, other cryptos like Stacks and Avalanche, all of them took a massive hit, right? Ethereum did pretty well, surprisingly, again, but also took a dip. So the dip isn't over. Some people left a comment in my shorts video that I made about XRP taking the nosedive, saying that, yeah, we just backed up the truck and bought more. Surprisingly, I thought you guys were out of money. Turns out XRP Army, I still have a little bit left in the tank, and many of them took advantage yesterday. Now, the prices are a little bit higher now. It went as low as, I think, about 52 cents. Anyway, on Coinbase, where I was watching it, on Binance, something like that too, but maybe on some exchanges, it even went a little bit lower. Right now, the price is back to something like 54 cents at the point of making this video. So it hasn't jumped back up as much. So there's still time, not financial advice if you want to capitalize on this, because best believe in short order, the price is going to recover to what it was before. You can already see the Bitcoin chart is trying to make its way back up. In a day or two, maybe even a few hours, anything can happen, an announcement can happen, and boom, that could take us back up to where it was before, even before the halving. One thing that might happen that could take us up before the halving, actually, is the fact that Hong Kong is announcing that they're doing the first spot Bitcoin ETF, and that might be announced as early and as soon as Monday. So that's in 2 days' time, or at least by the end of this month, right? Which is, within or close to the halving. It's perfect timing, right? So Hong Kong is, you know, a huge country. A spot Bitcoin ETF at this point is nothing special. They're popping up all over the world. But Hong Kong is a special case in that they are trying to be the hub and the center of crypto operations and activity in the APAC region in Asia, right? A lot of countries are vying for that same position. Japan, South Korea, and Singapore to an extent. So when the announcement really happens, or when they kick that off, the buying frenzy that's going to happen in Asia is going to take the price of Bitcoin at least back to and probably beyond what it was before the crash, and maybe even past the all-time highs, right? And if that coincides nicely with the halving and the FOMO kicks back in, only God knows how high we could go. Bitcoin will be in price discovery, and just, you know, our pockets are the limit. Well, not our pockets, the pockets of the powers that be that have all the money, right? In terms of how retail is feeling, retail sentiment in crypto at the moment, we're at 68 on the fear greed index, which means we've moved slightly back. We were at 75 on the border of crossing into extreme greed, but now we're just bang in the middle of greed, maybe a little bit lower than bang in the middle. If we were to take another massive dip, we might see ourselves move into neutral, but I think there's just so much greed in the system at the moment that we're not going to see that neutral unless something massively catastrophic happens and Bitcoin dips to something like 50K or something like that, right? But moving forward now towards the halving, I think the greed is going to start to build again, and we're going to, in no time, enter, you know, euphoria, right? Extreme greed, where people just start throwing money at all sorts of things, right? Throwing money at memes, throwing money at micro caps, people trying to make it big once and for all, because obviously we've convinced ourselves that this is our last chance, and if we don't do it now, that the train is going to leave forever and we're going to miss it. But I think if experience serves, we know that we have a lot of opportunity, a lot of chance. When something runs, there's something else that runs, you know, months down the line, you know, they'll get corrections and you can get back in, etc. But I think once we kick off the proper bull run and, you know, all of the FUD is behind us and all of these big companies start to join and ETFs all over the world and money gets thrown around, then we're going to really take off. We're going to see parabolic candles and we're going to truly miss the train, right? In terms of the XRP, like I said before, we're back to 54 cents again, which, you know, solidifies us as a stable coin, like people always say. But I think it's just more opportunity to get in for people who are interested in XRP. If you're not interested in XRP, I mean, there's no need to sit around and watch the XRP army people try to make money and talk about their coins. You could just go buy Solana, Cardano, Avalanche. There are hundreds and hundreds of tokens that are waiting to be bought, who are going to make a lot of money, especially this bull market. We're in the bull run now and everyone's a guru. All coins are amazing. Unless you're an absolutely ridiculous crappy coin, you're going to make a little bit of money in this run, right? So you can almost do no wrong at this point. The only thing that you have to be worried about in this particular scenario are rug pulls, right? When it comes to meme coins and all these micro caps that have no fundamentals, there's the danger of rug pulls. Yes, they're the ones that have the 1000x, 100,000x, even in some circumstances, 1 million x pumps. They also have the possibility of going to an absolute zero and you losing absolutely everything that you have because of rug pulls, because of crashes, hacks, being banned by governments, all sorts of things, you know. A lot of them are unscrupulous, a lot of them are illegal, you know, and the law is going to catch up with them, or the CEOs might take your money and just run and disappear into the ether. So be very, very careful, do your own research, and none of what I said today should be taken as financial advice. I will see you in the next video. Peace.